talk to you.
Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host, the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the Yard of Streams for another episode of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. Can't have Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, though, without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What's poppin'?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. I have a Becky Lynch Funko Pop coming in the mail tomorrow
Hey, nice.
to add to my Funko collection. I have 3 other Funkos coming too, but they're not wrestling related. So
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah,
What version of the man we got coming in?
Becky 2 belts. She's got both belts.
That's
So I was like,
that's classic.
yep, she's gonna be my second lady Funko for wrestling because her and Trish are my goats. So
Well, obviously.
yeah, and now she's a Grand Slam champ.
Grand Slam Bex.
Yeah, I know. That's very
Which
exciting.
we predicted, kind of.
Yeah, we were kind of. I was saying that I wasn't sure that it needed to happen, but I agree that 1, she deserved to be a Grand Slam champion, and 2, Tiffany beating her at No Mercy is going to make her into a bigger star. I mean, she was a fucking star in this match anyway. So,
Yeah.
she's going to be even bigger after beating her again. So, I'm happy for both of them,
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I watch this match. Usually I have NXT on,
Yeah.
just so I know what's going on. Obviously. But when this match came on, I stopped what I was doing. We watched it. Tiffany Stratton is so good so early in her career, which it just shows that the ceiling is so high for her. And I don't know if I read it on Twitter, but Bully Ray made a comment on Busted Open that he believes Tiffany Stratton could be this generation's Trish Stratus.
I never really like those types of things because
either, to be
it's
honest
just
with you.
really early to say that. So, I mean, could she eventually? Sure. But I do think she's only 24 years old. I think we need to lower our expectations for what she might be, in 10 years or something. But I mean, she was getting so much praise for her match against Becky. So, and I think what's interesting, like we've talked about, is that she's a complete product of WWE because she's performance center trained. So I think that is cool to see too, because a lot of the people that have come in through the performance center either came from another company or were already trained somewhere and were on the indies, and so you don't really get to see okay, how much are they actually learning at the performance center. And so the fact that she's a product, it's oh, okay, no, they can actually take these people and turn them legit. So that's pretty cool.
It's refreshing to see that the performance center is actually producing talent like this, because I felt for a while that the performance center was just there. It just felt like a Globo gym for any dodgeball fans out there, that just ton of NPCs. Yeah, it's everyone trying to become a WWE superstar, but how many of them are actually going to become WWE champ? And
yeah, because a lot of them were already indie stars.
That's the thing, is the indie wave hit.
Yeah. It's not Adam Cole comes into NXT and it's WWE made Adam Cole a star. It's no, there's a reason why he was on the indies and everyone fucking knew who Adam Cole was, WWE might have helped a little bit on his road to over stardom, but he was already a star when he came in there. So,
and that's one thing I really emphasize on anyone who is a wrestling fan, is that you gotta at least know what's going on. I'll take you for example, Sarah, is that you don't watch AEW like I do every week. You don't sit there and watch Dynamite and Rampage with the occasional collision. But you know what's going on. You know who the main players are. You even know if there's like some guy that's being randomly talked about because he could be something. We're going to do a segment in the 1, 2, 3 count where, you don't watch these guys, but you've at least seen clips of them before.
Yeah.
And you know who they are. So that's the difference with an educated wrestling fan and a blinded wrestling fan. Those stands out there, which I love that we have our differences with what we like, but you know what's going on. You're not ignorant.
Yeah.
To what's going on what's going on outside of Alexandria. So
well, I think also other than like my own, peeking into like what's going on, a lot of the people that I talk to that are wrestling fans, they also watch both products. So I get, like one of my friends texted me on Wednesday and all he said was Big Bill and like laughing faces. And I was like, what? Like it took me a second because I didn't realize that Cassidy was now Big Bill or whatever.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so then I saw it and then I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, I wonder what Enzo's doing. And I'm just like,
I can tell you what Enzo's doing.
Isn't he being weird? That's all I said. I was like,
oh no, he
weird.
is. Yeah, he is being weird. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, I was like, he's being weird somewhere, but
he's in MLW right now, Major League Wrestling.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so I'm saying like, there's conversations that I have with people who are wrestling fans who also enlighten me about what's going on in AEW. So I try, We'll
get you there. We're going to get you to because my favorite wrestler on the goddamn planet does not wrestle for WWE. Let's keep that in mind.
And probably never will, right?
He shouldn't. No, I will be the first person to say that man should not step into a WWE ring unless the elite company is back behind him. If that forbidden door is cracked, which
I don't see it when they're like EVPs. Like,
do you see? Before we get into our first segment, though, I do have this question: do you see a forbidden door being open between AEW and WWE?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be like soon. I would say no to it being soon.
Define soon.
I don't even know if that would happen in the next 5 years. I don't know.
I don't either. Okay.
Yeah, I think if they both continue to do what they're doing right now, they don't really need to like intermingle because they're both doing so well on their own. It's kind of like you don't really need to. But I think there was a point where I think if you asked anybody during like the 2010s, like late 2000s, 2010 era, do you ever think that they would open the forbidden door between Impact and WWE? We would have all said no. But we saw that with Mickie James as the Knockouts champion being the Women's Royal Rumble.
That was a lot. That went over a lot of people's heads, but that was a monumental moment.
And it was Vince McMahon. That wasn't Triple H. And so, I think that's something that we all would have been like, hell no, that's never happening, So, like, I can't say never about AEW and WWE, but think about how long it took for them to get to that point to allow, the forbidden door to open between TNA and WWE. So that's why I'm like, I don't know where. I mean, I think that
Carter was on WWE programming. In an interview, Dixie Carter, like that's huge.
Yeah, I think maybe
10 years.
I feel like that's a stretch, but I also think that it'll be interesting because it depends on like Cody's relationship, I would say, still with people in AEW and the influence of that, because then we're going to talk about Jade coming over. Then there's all these rumors about like WWE is interested in Ricky Starks, and
we're getting so into that today.
Yeah, so it's like
I'm so excited for this.
If we continue to see more like, I don't want to say that they're homegrown AEW talent, but more so, that they've been there for however long. I think if we see more of that crossover, then that might help a little bit, But yeah, I wouldn't say never, but I don't know if we'll see it like soon,
I truly believe that when we are doing this full time and have our own Busted Open type show, there will be rumblings of it to get it started, eventually happen, and we will be covering it. That is the goal, and that's what will happen. So let's get some comments before everybody's favorite Thursday, Friday show segment. David says, was poppin', and says Tiffany's going to be a megastar. Yeah. He also said that he feels like Tiffany will be the new Trish. And I more think that in the sense that the woman wrestler that transcends the division and launches it to another level.
Or that's someone who literally had, like, she came in with no experience and then wrestled and then learned how to wrestle and then became like a top in the division. I think that's possible, but I can't say like she's going to become legendary in the way that Trish was. But
I'm
not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to predict that. I don't like doing that. So
yeah,
but I will agree that you will transcend stuff. Kingdom of Razors here. And he said he got a silly story to admit when NXT first came out when I was in middle school. Wow. Wow, you're young. Jesus. I really believe the rookies weren't trained. Don't worry.
You were young too. You didn't. That was like 2009 and 2009.
NXT was in 2009.
He's talking about the rookies.
Oh, like that NXT.
With the pros. He's saying when NXT first came out. Yeah, you didn't even watch. That's why I was telling you about
on my hiatus.
Yeah, when I was telling you like Cody was Bray's pro. That's why I was saying like the connection, you know. But yeah, no.
Harris is legendary. And then you have Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I really enjoyed NXT because Derek Bateman. I loved Derek Bateman, aka EC3. Derek Bateman was.
I'm shocked you don't watch it. NWA.
I know. I saw that he's the champ now, but you need to look up Derek Bateman stuff. Chicks in America, dude. Like, he was hilarious. Did you ever see the video of him going on the double date with Daniel Bryan and the Bella Twins?
I think I've seen clips.
Okay.
This sounds so familiar.
You need to look stuff up like that. And then I also loved Percy Watson, and he never became anything, but I was
He was the forgotten member of Nexus.
Was he a Nexus? Oh, well, he had the red glasses and they didn't have the shades in them. I don't know if Percy Watson was in Nexus. Does he? I don't think so. I don't know. And he was always like, do. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I loved him.
Pitts is your favorite wrestler at Kenny Omega. And there's only one answer for that.
Yeah.
Right. It is the greatest wrestler on God's green earth, Kenny Omega. The only other acceptable answer, Brian Danielson, tomato potato. Because when John Moxley's saying that he's the greatest, I think he might be. And then one more before we get into it. Do you think Brian Pillman Jr. will be in NXT soon? I heard rumors a while back. He was spotted at the developmental arena. I
heard he was signed.
There. He's there. That's for a fact. When they're going to put him on television, that I do not know.
Yeah.
Percy Watson's Darren Young?
No. He wasn't in Nexus.
Oh, Darren Young was in.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't believe it was Percy Watson. I loved Percy Watson. He became like a commentator for a while too, but he didn't last. Like, he wasn't around. Like, oh my God, but he was so funny. I was obsessed. We bought a sign for him and he like looks at us like he couldn't believe that there were people who were actually there like supporting him. And we were like, yeah, we had the red glasses on and everything. But anyway,
that's real fit. That's real loyalty right there.
Yeah.
All right, it's time.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sarah. Be a rosebud. Because you know what we do to lemons? We fucking smoke them. All right. I'm still trying to figure out a way to work that in as like a promo thing of like a champ, like, you know, like if you smell.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. I'm still trying to find a way to make that like my thing.
Your thing.
Is like all villains are lemons. And what do we do to evil? We fucking smoke it. There's something there. All right. Okay. Let me know in the comment section. You work it out because I have a show to do right now. Starting with, I've been talking. Sarah, what is your Rosebud favorite thing in wrestling this week?
I would say Pretty Deadly being on TV last week on SmackDown. That was very exciting. I'm very excited that they are on their way back to being on TV because it's been too long since they have been around. And I would say there was another, but now I can't remember. Well, I guess one good thing was I liked Gunther having his ceremony, because he deserved it, being the longest reigning intercontinental heavyweight champion of the world.
That pyro was incredible.
Legend.
That was well deserved.
Yes.
My new haircut is actually inspired by Gunther. Fun fact.
Really? Did you show a picture of him?
I swear, Sarah, I swear that my mom's like, you gotta do something with the hair, because I like the look, the Letty right there, but we're trying to get out there, we're trying to meet
for
some
the
people.
ladies.
We're just trying to get a little love life.
Ladies.
Now that we're out of there, we're ready to get back into that game. So I was like, how can I do it? And I feel like you can be the judge of this too, that Gunther and I have a similar face structure, like a very similar shape of our face. I'm not trying to say we look the same. All right.
I get it.
It's so the biggest issue I had trying to find a new look for my hair was someone who had a similar face structure to me. And Gunther just popped up. I mean, he carries a belt. I'm a champion of some sorts. So it just made sense. So I'm showing my mom, look at this guy. Doesn't he, couldn't we pull it off? And then I showed my stylist, my hairdresser, because I have my own personal one, tech, kind of. It's incredible. Life's funny. And she whipped it up. She's incredible. Kim. Shout out Kim. She's the best hairdresser in New England, because look at this fucking dude. My rosebud of the week is not my hair, all right, or not even me in general. AEW, Sarah, I texted you that you need to start watching, and there's so many reasons why, but the Adam Cole MJF storyline is rivaling the Bloodline on entertainment value. Very different in so many ways. But the captivity of it, or whatever you want to call it, how it, grabs your attention, how you're questioning if this is really real. Are MJF and Adam Cole actually best friends? But the best part of the week it's part of their storyline with Samoa Joe now, because he's involved. And they got him involved to start things off, recreating the moment of him pushing MJF when he was the security guard for him. And I forget what pay-per-view it was specifically, but everyone knows that clip. And on Wednesday, he wasn't on, but they did a pre-tape thing of him pretty much cutting a promo on both of his potential opponents at Grand Slam. And he does the Roderick Strong thing. That's not the story that I'm into right now, even though that's the one that's really rivaling. This man goes out there and cuts the Steiner Math promo on Samoa Joe, recreating that Impact moment. And if you're a real wrestling fan, this was this was a moment where Twitter lost it. Everyone's like, no way he's doing it. Not only just doing it, fucking knocking it out of the park. No stuttering, dead eye contact the entire time. Adam Cole's even cracking up and being like, oh yeah, I'm with it. Let's go. Renee Paquette's even breaking a little bit. And for anyone who is tuning in here and is maybe as young as the Kingdom of Razor and doesn't know of the ye old times of Impact in the early 2000s, it's such a glorious time. Scott Steiner cut this promo on Samoa Joe. It was called Steiner Math, where he pretty much he stumbled and bumbled his way through a promo trying to do math equations to calculate his chances of winning against Samoa Joe. And it is one of the most infamous segments, I would say, in wrestling history, because of how absurd the math is and the fact that Scott Steiner, of all people, did it. And I thought I would give the peeps a little bit of a table read, you might say. We're going to do a little table read right now of the Steiner Math promo. I found it on genius.com. Thank you. So here is the promo after Lauren, the backstage reporter, asked him, what he thinks about his chances against, what is it? Let me see. Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. and as Petey Williams and Scott Steiner, the Maple Leaf Muscle. Wow, that's awesome. All right, so here's the promo. You know, they say that all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best chance at best to beat me. At beat me. That's what he said. At beat me. Then you add Kurt Angle to the mix. Your chance of winning drastic go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33.3% chance of winning, but I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus my 25% chance, and you get an 8 1/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one, then you had 66 2/3%. I got a 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. What the fuck? What's that?
I don't know. No idea.
I read that verbatim. That man is just a living legend. Oh,
too many roids. That's all.
God damn. All right. Sarah, what's your lemon? Nope, not me. I don't want to talk. You talk.
Nia Jax.
But Sarah, she's not like most girls.
Don't care. Literally don't care. I think, yeah, we talked about how we wanted there to be some more opponents for Rhea to go against, especially competent ones, not these little teeny tiny girls that are great in the ring, but obviously would stand no chance against Rhea. So, okay, cool. That's Nia, but it's like Nia is a competent opponent for her simply because she's just a big girl. It's not because she's like equally strong. It's not like Rhea versus like Beth Phoenix, where it's like muscle. And I'm not saying this in like a body shaming way towards Nia, but that's the reason. That's the reason why people are going to be more okay with it, because it's like Rhea can't dominate her the way she did with like Liv Morgan or Zelina Vega, because they're so much smaller than her. So like, okay, cool. I'm for that. But I'm just like, it's just the fact that it's Nia. It's like, I would have preferred it to be like Shayna Baszler or Zoe Stark or something, because then at least it's like, okay, well, these girls have been around, and it's like, all right, if she's just going to go through the entire women's roster, then that's fine. But bringing in Nia, I'm just like, what is happening here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know me, I unless it's really bad, I care. I'm just laughing at it. It's so fucking funny.
I think what's interesting too is she's going against Rhea, who is she's supposed to be a heel because she's in Judgment Day, but obviously she's the most loved in Judgment Day, hence why she gets cheered for in like all of her matches, or why there's mommy chants and why her merchandise sells like crazy. So then you're bringing Nia back, who nobody likes for the most part. Like, are we supposed to believe that she's supposed to be the good guy in this situation? Like, I'm just kind of confused. Like, yeah, you can have heel versus heel, but like nobody, like, are you trying to make Rhea loved? Like, aren't we supposed to hate her? Like, this is just going to make people want to cheer for her even more. So I feel like it's confusing. I'm very confused, but
they have to be leaning into some sort of skid with the crowd reactions. That's the only logical explanation.
I mean, unfortunately, it seems like it was, Vince McMahon's last decision, and now they're just forced to have to deal with it, I guess.
It's like when you quit your job that you hate that you've had for years and can't stand, and on the last day you quit or leave, you take a shit in your desk, and that was the last thing that was exactly what Vince McMahon did.
Yeah.
Or what, you know what I mean? It just,
yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I am with you there with your lemon. Although my lemon, I'll go with the AEW for balance here. I don't know what it is, but everyone's talking about how All Out was great and whatnot, but I just have no reason to watch it.
Was that
Uh,
that was the one after Wembley?
right after Wembley in
Okay.
Chicago.
Mhm.
And could it be because the other shit going on? Could it be because other promotions and their stuff? Or could it be because it's football season? I don't know. But I just was not into it. I didn't want to spend the $50. I didn't even want to spend the effort to find an illegal stream. And there were some good matches there. Shout out Orange Cassidy and John Moxley main eventing. Orange Cassidy probably uh, up there in his title reigns with Gunther. I'd say he was AEW's Gunther with the amount of times he defended, how long his reign was. And I liked how it's led into a little bit of a character growth, where seeing a little bit of a character arc with Orange Cassidy. But like that's it. I don't care that Kenny Omega lost to Takeshita. I get why they're doing it. The other thing I could say is the like whatever Chris Jericho is doing right now, I don't care.
Mhm.
As long as he's on my TV every week and I can sing Judas, that's cool. I think him and Sammy Guevara will be a good match, but I'm not, oh my God, I need to watch this match. So, you can't, that's like the only thing I would say this week that I didn't like, but if that's the only thing, I would say it's a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Pretty good week in the wrestling world. Not
Mhm.
only has it been a good week, Sarah, it's been a
Crazy.
crazy week. This might be the most newsworthy, tabloid-filled week of wrestling in a recently long time. It
Yeah.
feels like, at least.
Well, and I think it's like bigger news. It's not just like, oh, this happened and it's like, okay, whatever. But I mean, the week kicked off with the Endeavor thing, like that, Vince McMahon is now not the primary owner of WWE, which I think that is a bigger deal than I think some people feel it is. And everything that can come from that. And then of course there's all the rumors of this person, coming and this whatever. Like there's just a lot going on for just a random week in September. So it feels like the Endeavor deal kind of like set it all into motion almost. It's like that happened on Tuesday and then everything else started coming out after that.
Yeah, and I have a banner here about that. So, but I want to talk about this, and I'm going to get to comments now about it because we have a
Okay.
lot of comments about it, as
Okay.
we should. And we'll get to the comments, and that will pretty much direct us in our conversation. We'll not only get to the first comment about it because there it is. DJ Zombie G. Every content creator keeps content spamming that Jade going to WWE, but she's not been removed from the AEW women's roster list yet at all. Her contract's probably not technically up.
Yeah, I think I heard it was supposed to be up like this week.
Yeah, she has one more match.
And obviously I would assume that they're not just going to remove her. They're not going to just give up on trying to keep her. So I assume until she walks out and she says like, I'm going somewhere else, she's going to remain there because why would they just be okay with her walking out, Like they're going to want to try to keep her around.
She's still got to, like, you have to think of this from a business standpoint. This is all hearsay. I mean, it might be confirmed, whatever, but it has not been announced by Tony Khan, and it has been announced by Jade either. You have to, in wrestling, you have to have essentially a proper send off or a last match, whatever, before you eventually go to the other company. And we saw the hug. There's a video that leaked of a hug between Chris Statlander and Jade Cargill,
which made it seem
match.
Like that was like
I mean, that was
farewell.
I mean, anyone else remember MSG? That was their own little curtain call. So
yeah.
That's where it's going as for the removed. I mean, for God's sakes, Jey Uso was removed from the WWE roster.
Yeah,
they're
for 2
getting
weeks.
smarter. They're
Yeah.
getting smarter with how they're trying to trick the fan. You have to just
Yeah.
read the signs.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of inevitable at this point. I feel like there has to be a lot of rumblings going on if this many sources are talking about it. It feels like it is happening. It's just a matter of when it's happening, probably. Because then, of course, there's not just the rumors of her going to WWE, but then there's people saying, oh, she's going to NXT. And then there's people that are saying, no, she'd be on the main roster. So it's like there's just a lot of rumors out there. But the basis of it, the fact that this many people from so many different avenues of wrestling media are saying she's going to WWE, it feels like it that part is true. It's just like everything else leading up to it, or where she actually goes when she gets to WWE, I think is more of the question at this point.
Diggy. I wish Jade contract ended sooner so she could come in now against Rhea, or W somehow got Jordan Grace. Good threats for Rhea. Jordan Grace's contract, I did hear, is expiring.
This is my thought too. Like it almost sucks that it's happening at this point, because then, not that we wouldn't see Nia come back. Obviously, she's been under contract for a month, so it's like they just didn't know when she was going to come back or how they were going to use her. And we know that Eric Young was under contract for months before they figured out, like, okay, he's going to leave now because we have nothing for him. So it's possible they would do that with Nia. But it sucks because, I mean, imagine Rhea versus Jade. Like, I would rather see that. And I would love for Jade to walk in and that be like the first thing she does. You know what I mean? So it does. I agree that it's like it's almost like it needed to happen like 2 weeks sooner, you know? But
it's interesting to see what happens when Nia feuding with Rhea. Yeah, because of that now. I agree with that.
And we have to remember, Nia feuding with Rhea isn't Nia only feuding with Rhea. She's now going to be feuding with the Judgment Day. So it's like, what is all that going to entail? Is she going to have people that back her up? I can't imagine it would be the Samoans, but
yeah. Oh, maybe she's part of the bloodline.
No.
What if we just make Nia Jax the women's enforcer?
No, they don't even like acknowledge that she's like part of the family. Come on, stop it. Like,
they don't acknowledge. They don't acknowledge. Come on.
No.
Jade Cargo W, a good thing. Imagine her, Rhea Ripley, and like Bianca is the number one match everyone wants to see. I just want to see him win tag team gold.
Not just that, but this then this is something we've been talking about. Wanting Bianca to turn heel. If Jade comes in, then Bianca's not turning heel. But imagine that banger of a Mania match that they would have.
We'd be there.
Man,
we would be there.
I know. So I do think that's exciting because as much as I want to see Bianca turn, if we have Jade, then it's kind of like, but yeah.
So we got our first super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Main Event Fro. We can super chat now. Let's ride.
Okay, a round of applause for Main Event Fro because he is our first super chat.
Come on.
Yay. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. See, so awesome. that's what super chats look like. They're different colors depending on the amount. So there you go. You experienced your first one.
That was so cool.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome because there was a star there. It's green. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really cool. What is this? Exactly. Jade is the biggest female star next to Paige, Saraya, DMD. Tony will try to keep her. No, she's gone. She is gone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to try their best, but like the girls backstage, I'm sure they know a little bit more. I mean, maybe not like definitively, because obviously when it's something like this big of news, because I don't know that people realize that there really hasn't been any like AEW grown people that have jumped ship. Like that hasn't happened. It's been WWE people going to AEW. So Jade, other than Cody. Okay, other than Cody.
I get what you mean. But, I know the comment's gonna be there, but yeah, I know.
But Jade would kind of be like the first one to do that, and so keeping it hush hush makes sense because like that would be a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame them for trying to keep her, but I feel like she seems like she already has like a foot and a half out the door, just based off of everything that's being reported. It seems like she's kind of already made her mind up. So unless they somehow offered her, I guess, like a shit ton of money, but it also depends on what she wants for her career.
It's not about money. That's what I heard.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, is it about money or is it about like star power, like growing your career, creating a brand? Like, because as much as people love AEW, it's not WWE. So and that's not like a diss to them, but you can't say that they are equal to a company that's been around for literally decades. And
we're pushing centuries.
So that's what I mean. It's like you can't. So it's like there are still going to be people that are wanting to go to WWE, even if they did spend however many years in AEW. It's just not. It's not the same. They're not on the same caliber at this point. So
they're not. They really aren't. Everyone is kind of saying the same thing. That's the match. Jade versus Flair. Oh, David said it. That was where it is.
That would be a good one.
And
that's the thing too, is we talked about, or you said too, that you didn't feel like Jade she has to be a heel. So that is another thing that, like, if that's accurate, I love it, because I told you I feel like I'm going to be obsessed with her.
You will be 1,000%.
But I also don't like the idea of her going against a babyface Charlotte, just because. But then I'm like, just demolish her, like Jade, just obliterate her, because I'm like, we don't like that. But then I want to see like Bianca be a heel, and I feel like that wouldn't happen. But I'm excited. I'm not even like a big AEW fan, but I'm very well aware of who Jade is, so I am very excited because the potential. And if we can add another bad girl, come on.
That's right up your alley.
Yes,
that's right up your alley.
Yes.
Switching now. This is a great way to transition.
Yes.
This is just a great way to transition into the other nonsense news that happened this week. Matt Riddle, it has been reported that he's returning to Raw this week after a little bit of a encounter at JFK Airport.
We talked about this a couple days ago, and I made it into its own video clip. I'm just very confused about this, because then I also forgot about one of the controversies that he got in, which was like those leaked videos or photos of him that were not safe for work. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, he did send those.
So I forgot. I forgot that those got leaked. So the thing is like, okay, if you want to be like, okay, he had backstage heat with Seth Rollins, whatever, that happens, like, whatever, okay, we're moving on, sure, whatever. Then maybe you want to be like, oh, he cheated on his wife, okay, it's a personal matter, whatever, we're gonna brush over that. I'm just saying, like, if that's
right? You'll get fired for these reasons. Yes,
right. And then you find out he's doing cocaine at work, and you're like, okay, let's send him to rehab. Like, okay, if that's not enough for you to be like, okay, 3 strikes, you're out. Then we have like, okay, then there's the drama of his leaked photos. Then there's the drama of a woman coming out and talking about how he like abused her. And now we're talking about him making a serious allegation against a TSA employee, posting it online and with an incoherent caption, and
it was weird. That was a weird caption.
And now we're saying, okay, first of all, he was probably 99% not sober when he posted that as well. And now you're like, okay, we'll just take you off 1 week of shows. I'm just so confused, because like I said a couple days ago, he's not a top guy. So I don't understand why he's getting chance after chance after chance after being like so controversial and causing you so much issues. Like, I just don't understand why they're so hell-bent on keeping him around. Like, he wouldn't be the first guy that like got fired who was like in the middle of a storyline that they then had to try and figure out a way to navigate around it. No one cares. Like, I don't know about you, but I already forgot that he was being teamed up with Drew McIntyre. I'm already like, okay, McIntyre's doing stuff with the New Day. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need Riddle for that.
I'm over it. My thoughts are just pretty short and sweet. I have no interest really in Riddle except for the comedic relief portion of the show. But yeah, I don't. If he's returned to Raw this week, I just hope that's not true. So
yeah, I just then start to question their judgment, because it's like, what else is he supposed to do? Like, at this point, he could literally like run someone over in front of the arena before Raw, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's okay. Just come on in, like clean yourself
part
up."
of the story.
Yeah,
It
you
was
have a
part of the
match.
show.
Like, I'm just so confused. Like, I don't understand.
I think you were talking about high flyers last stream, Pitts. What was the high flyer you mentioned? His name is El Hijo del Vikingo. We will be mentioning him a little bit later in the stream too for the three count. So that is the guy. Definitely be watching him. That man is he's incredible. All right, let's go to another topic here. Yeah, we kind of alluded to this waiver wire, so I'm just gonna throw it up because I put the effort to do it. But we kind of have a little bit of a waiver wire situation in our hands in a way, with all the talent that we've alluded to, Ricky Starks, Jade, Brian Pillman Jr., that are now jumping ship, and there's going to be news in the next few months probably of WWE talent who is unhappy and whatnot. It's going to shift.
Ricky Starks is definitely coming to WWE.
That man needs to be a WWE wrestler.
And you know why he's going to go to WWE? Cody Rhodes. Come on. Cody has been like poaching him since he left. They're good friends, and he's like he's mentioned him on TV and stuff. I'm like, no, he is going to pull those strings and make sure that Ricky is in WWE. Ooh. So what?
No, we just have another super chat.
Oh my gosh! Yay! Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. I'm gonna just clap.
Mr. Anderson.
I wonder, maybe we could do we'll have to come up with something every time someone gives us a super chat.
We do. That would be
Like
I'll think tonight.
The DIY.
Yeah, the DIY. Yeah, we got to come up with something like that. I'll get my brain going because we got.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. We really appreciate it.
You're right, though. They it's not that they don't really care. It's just that
I think
wrestling's different. It is just a different world.
Well, and I'm not saying that they don't care or that they do. Like, it's hard for me because I think it's like, obviously they turn a blind eye depending on who it is. You know what I mean? It's like, how many times did they bring back Jeff Hardy? You know what I mean? But it's like, Jeff Hardy has that star power where it's like they have made the decision before to cut him, and then that's why he went to Impact and AEW, whatever. So it's like, it's not that they haven't done that before. Obviously, Scott Hall had his demons, and they paid for like, I don't even know how many stints of rehab. So yeah, and so I think it's just with obviously the things that Riddle has done or been accused of are far different than like drinking and driving, which is obviously very unsafe and whatever. But it's just like the things that he has been accused of or has done are pretty serious. Like, you don't just accuse someone of SA and that is what he did. And it's kind of like, okay, I don't know. I think it's more so about character concerns than actually being like, doing something like a DUI or something. It's like, you're getting so much negative press because of this guy that it's like, it's especially when it comes down to something like SA, when you're still kind of like trying to get people to ignore the Vince McMahon story from only like a year and a half ago. Then you have a guy accusing a TSA of a person of that. Like, I don't know. It's like a mess that I feel like they don't have to deal with, and yet they choose to deal with it. So
where's the other? There's a comment. Where's there it is. Nathaniel. Guys, I think Edge will go to AEW. I don't think so, but it's definitely possible. Edge is it's not the time, and I don't even mean for him. Because if you all right, put it this way. If he's gonna go to AEW, you have to put him with Christian.
Yeah, but
that'd be like the whole point.
Yeah, but he's like on fire right now.
No, there you go. You're leading me. You're guiding us there. Is that Christian is top 3 heel in wrestling right now with this whole dad father figure shit.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Someone made a mix of his theme song to all of his promos where he says like, your father is dead. And I can't believe him saying this because it's so mean and just so, but like, goddamn, it kind of slaps and fits. Like, it's just like, it's going so well, this whole angle, and how as awful as it is, that's what makes the best heels. He's just a dirtbag asshole. I mean, the fact that he's calling out Nick Wayne and being like, "Yeah, I followed your mom on Instagram. I don't know why she's not posting more bikini pics." It's like, one, can't say that in WWE. Two, no person would ever say that. And then it's him being his heel self that he's doing great work and doesn't have to be in the ring. He's working with his age. It's just you're not going to screw that up with a reunion of him and Edge.
Well, and Edge coming to AEW would take away so much of the spectacle that Christian's become. It would be everything would be about, oh my God, Edge, his contract is up in WWE. He said he was retiring. Now he's in AEW. Oh my God, it's Edge. Like, no one would care about Christian anymore. I mean, let's not forget when Edge and Christian were a tag team, were people really talking about Christian? No, it was always about Edge. Like, their career paths, like, did not take off in the same way. So if I were Christian, I wouldn't want it either. I'd be like, I love you. You're my brother, but please don't. Like, I don't want you here. Like, let me do my thing and leave it at that,
I agree with that. Whereas, okay, so we already talked about WWE wanting Ricky Starks and how that would be incredible. Yep. Riddle. Yeah, this was sad. This was kind of sad, I heard, that Elias is a free agent.
I know. I was bummed about this because it had nothing to do with him. It was how they messed it up. They never should have taken him off TV. They, like I've said a million times when we've talked about him, they don't just give a solo segment to anybody at WrestleMania. This man sat in the middle of a ring with a spotlight only on him and performed a song at WrestleMania and had a big spot for the show. And then they decide, okay, we're going to keep you off TV for a while. We're going to have you shave and cut your hair. And then you're going to be gone for however long. And then we're going to kind of try to repackage you and see if anyone notices. And if they don't, then we won't go with it. But then they did. So it's like, oh, you're your brother. And it's like, yeah, that was funny for a couple weeks. But then, like, you never really reintroduced Elias. And then when you did, you didn't do anything with him. You just had him doing these random backstage segments. And it's like, he got some of like that Dom Mysterio heat when he was out there singing songs and insulting the crowd and their sports teams and all of that. It's like
Seattle one to riot after he called out the Supersonics.
Yeah, so it's like, and you got rid of that? Like, I don't understand. So, like, in a way, I'm sad because I really enjoyed him. And of course, he's like really attractive. But like, I feel like this is better for him because it's so messed up what they did. Like,
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. They fumbled this bag.
They really did.
They could have done something with him, especially with how you're trying to revive the tag division once again. Put him with, I'm not going to say Riddle himself, but another guy like a Riddle who just can't get over on his own, because Elias is over on his own, but the company doesn't see it.
Yep.
Someone may be getting over with the company, but is not getting over with the crowd. You pair that together and then boom, you have a tag team and then you help the division. So,
or why not send him back down to NXT where he was humongous? There was a reason why he had so much excitement when he came up to the main roster. And that's what they've done with other people in the past. Hello, look at Baron Corbin. Like, the most recent example. Why didn't you do that to Elias instead of just like making him disappear? It's just very weird.
It's very weird. We'll end with the biggest news of the day leading into SmackDown tonight. My hero, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, People's Champ, went on another one of my heroes' shows today, Pat McAfee, and kind of did a little bit of a pipe bomb, dropping that Roman and he were supposed to main event night one of WrestleMania, and that it was discussed beginning of 2022. Keep that in mind for all the peeps watching. Beginning of 2022.
Night 1 or night 2?
Night 2.
Oh, you said night 1. So that's why I was asking.
I am pretty sure it's night 2.
I mean, it makes sense because that's like the main event, technically.
And The Rock went on and elaborated to say that it was pretty much finalized, and then just they could not figure out a way to make it happen where he is doing something. Yeah, it made sense. He wants to do something unprecedented, and that's one thing he talked about in the same conversation, is that he doesn't come back to wrestling unless he does something that's unprecedented for the fans. You know, when you're The Rock and you're in such a historic wrestling family, you have your own legendary career, you get burnt out. There's no need for you to go back except for, to help them out, whatever. But if you can do something that really changes the course of the sport and revolutionize whatever, then you go do it, and he's all for it. That's why I'm okay with it being at this year's WrestleMania, because of the bloodline story evolving and whatnot. And last year, as I mentioned, beginning of 2022, Cody Rhodes returned at WrestleMania in April of that year. So this meeting had to have happened in February, March. So maybe Cody, they figured out like, oh, it doesn't work. And maybe Cody's injury. Like, there's a lot of other factors, is what I'm trying to say, that go into this, where it's like, it just doesn't make sense for it to happen. I just want it to happen at WrestleMania. Okay, just fucking feed this to me. I want to go ballistic in this crowd when The Rock's theme hits. He is one of my favorite wrestlers right now who I've never seen live.
I have. Yeah. During the Rock Cena tour. So he was at a show in Oregon, I think. So I saw him. But I mean, I think that it was obvious that they're going to probably have a lot of people at Mania 40, because it's like the start of a decade, so I always assumed that The Rock was going to be involved in some way, just like I feel like Cena will be, and whoever other legends are in town. Even if it is Philly and it's not LA, it's like it's still WrestleMania 40. You're starting another decade of Mania, so it feels like it's inevitable that they'll have him there. I just I don't know in what capacity, because for so much of this year, basically, since Mania 39, everyone has been on the bandwagon of, okay, it's going to be Roman versus Cody part 2 at Mania 40. Cody's going to finally finish the story. That's what people want to see. Or, then there's the few that want it to be Jay, whatever. So people assume that that's what's going to happen. And at this point, that's all we've been thinking about. Like, okay, Cody is going to be the one that moves to SmackDown in the trade, and that's the way that he can go after Roman. So it's like everything that we've been talking about is like trying to figure out how Cody versus Roman could happen again at WrestleMania without Cody having to win the Royal Rumble again. So this kind of like adds like a kink into that, because it's like, okay, well, how is this going to impact it? And most people are assuming that it would be like Rock versus Roman for the title, which I feel like that's ridiculous and stupid. And it's
going to be for a title. Just not the WWE Undisputed Universal.
What title would it be? Oh, yeah, for the name title.
There it is. There it is.
But yeah, I think that people need to get off that idea, because I think that it doesn't need to be. And Sean Ross Sapp, and I know he's, depending on how people think about him, whatever, he had a really interesting theory, which I like. And I think that it would make a lot more sense, where he was saying that it would be almost more interesting if Rock Roman happened at Mania and it was because Roman lost the title. And so then Rock would come in and be like, oh, how are you the tribal chief? You just lost the title. Like, I'm actually the tribal chief. You have nothing now because your family isn't with you. You now don't have your championship. The wise man is gone. And he even mentioned how like he can say like, oh, The Rock helped you get movie roles. Like some of the stuff that you've been doing in Hollywood is because of my influence. I'm actually the provider to the family. It's me. I'm the tribal chief. So it would be like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Could be. But this is the thing too, because remember I teased this too, or of an idea. I would be all for this if Roman had had matches on each night of Mania. So maybe one first night he's the main event for the title, right? Whoever it is, whether it's Solo, whether it's Jay, whether it's Cody, whoever, right? He loses. And then the next night, or even that night, The Rock comes out and is like, "What is going on, brother? Like, you're not the tribal chief, this and this," and then challenges him to a match the next night. I would love that, because then I feel like I feel like you can't have Rock Roman happen on any other show other than Mania.
It has to be at WrestleMania.
Then I also feel like Roman can't lose the title not on WrestleMania, and Cody can't win the title from Roman not on a WrestleMania. So it's like there's so many factors that I feel like are not working.
Does Cody have to beat Roman in your eyes?
See, like, I'm not one of those people that feels like it has to be Roman. I just think that because he was so close to beating Roman, that it would almost be more satisfying if it was that they had like a rematch a year later, and that he won against Roman because he didn't have anyone by his side to help him win. It was actually like a 1-on-1 match as opposed to like a 1-on-4 match. I think that would be more interesting. And I think that if Cody wins the title, there has to be substance to it. It can't just be, a month-long feud that he then just finally wins the championship. Like, I don't think that people would, like, they're going to be excited, but it's not going to be as thrilling, because it's like, okay, like, it was against whoever. Like, there's not a story there. And this would be like a year-long story, or a year and a half long story, because it basically started since the Rumble. So I think that it just kind of makes it a little more difficult to think about like what they could do and how The Rock could be involved, and how could The Rock and Roman face off against each other, and how could it happen if it didn't involve the title, and how could Cody still win the title? Like, there's just so many things that I'm like, I'm glad that we're not in that creative room, because like I think that him teasing the idea of even having a match against Roman means that he probably wants to, and you kind of can't like throw that out there and then WWE be like, okay, we're just gonna have a segment where The Rock.
You can't ignore it. Yeah, like, no, that's the one thing I say to everybody, is that nothing accidentally happens in wrestling. Nothing is just said to be said. There's always some sort of substance behind what everyone says. And when you have a guy like The Rock who knows how to bleed the lines, or blur the lines, between sports entertainment and reality, and a comment like this blurs the shit out of him. So why not go on, I would say right now, the most popular sports show on the internet, make this comment,
with WWE connections,
with
also.
WWE connect, Pat McAfee. Like, there's too many little
on the day that they're all in Denver. Yeah. So
because they're just, there's too many little nuances to all this that you can just brush off. You can't.
Yeah.
So that's what makes SmackDown tonight that much more intriguing, and I'm gonna be glued. It's gonna be tough to do some nonsense, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it would be cool to see The Rock at Mania, obviously. Like, although I'm not, the leader of the train of like, oh yeah, I really want to see Roman versus Rock, especially for the title, because that was something you were talking about however long ago that you wanted to see. Like, I don't want to see that, because I don't want to see The Rock go for a title. Obviously it would be fun if we're at Mania and it's our first Mania and we get to see The Rock. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. Like, obviously
I'm gonna be a fucking
no, I know. I told David, I was like, and my sister, I was like, if The Rock shows up at Mania, I'm literally gonna have to take care of a crying child next to me.
I'm gonna be a man child, just crying, not knowing how to conduct myself.
But I would understand, like I wouldn't be
yeah.
mean about it. I would just be like, oh my, like if you were having like like a freak out, like then I'd be like calm,
I would be it's just gonna be like tears
yeah,
down and just motionless because I will have legitimately no idea how
yeah.
to react. I'm
No,
not. I'm
I
not
get
gonna
it.
know.
Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen on SmackDown tonight. I don't know what's gonna happen at Mania. Like I have no idea. But I'm intrigued. I just hope that we like whatever they do because we hated the Cody losing decision originally. Then we were like, okay, it makes sense. Now it's looking like a bad decision because they have nothing for him basically post Brock Lesnar. So it's like making it look like what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if then they like go a different direction for the title and they don't really have Cody involved in something, it looks like a bad choice. So it's like there's so many factors that it's like we're gonna really be paying attention to. That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's the thing. That's why I'm saying like I think it's fine if it happens, but it has to be minus the title. But then the idea of Roman losing the title before WrestleMania doesn't make sense, especially where he's going to have been champion for like 4.5, 5 years at that point. So that's why I said if it happens on night one and
What about a Big
then,
Four?
huh?
What about a Big Four pay-per-view?
I don't, it doesn't have the same feel as like, not even just
None
because
of
it's
them.
WrestleMania, but it's WrestleMania 40. You know what I mean? Like there's so much behind that. And it doesn't make any sense for The Rock to go for the title anyway. Like
But you need to have that match at WrestleMania 40.
you can have the match, but not for the title, is what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to be like The Rock doesn't have any reason to be like, I really want to go for the undisputed Universal
He
Championship.
doesn't want
like,
the title. He wants the title of Tribal Chief.
I know. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying like it's like I don't know how this would work other than which I think could make sense to have, let's say it's Cody versus Roman on night one and then Roman versus Rock on night two. Like I could see that would be, and it doesn't have to main event night two, like there's reason to believe that it doesn't have to. I mean, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold didn't main event, so I think that this definitely throws a wrench into things and it's going to force them to try and be really creative because you don't want, huh?
No, keep going.
You don't want to mess up anything. You don't want to mess up the bloodline because obviously you've put in a lot of effort and money into the storyline. So you don't want to just like ruin that at the end. And then you also don't want to do anything to mess up what Cody has established for himself since he came back at the Royal Rumble. And so it's like that's a lot, but you also don't want to fumble the bag with The Rock because it's The Rock, it's like, I don't know. It's a lot to figure out.
It is a lot. It is a lot to figure out. Wow, we've been going for an hour now. Thank you guys for all the comments, the super chats, seeing those. That popped me.
That was really cool. Thank you guys.
That was really cool.
To Mr. Anderson and Fro, thank you so much. You guys were our first super chats. That's really cool.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, and it's time now for the 1, 2, 3 count. Starting off with 1. It's the NWF, baby. We're back. It's actually here. It's live. I've been working on this for about a couple months now, a little bit longer in the thought process things, but we are going live. Sarah and I have our own little promotion through WWE 2K called the Nonsense Wrestling Federation. Backstory, or if you just want to have an imagination, Sarah and I have bought WWE from the McMahon's Endeavor, whoever. We have it. It's ours. And because we bought it, we're going to take a show, and we don't need NXT because those guys and gals are going to come up to the main roster. We're replacing it with Nonsense. That's what happens when you're in the Nonsense Galaxy, especially at the Nonsense Sports Network. So there's different characters from, pop culture, some characters you just made up that were pretty cool in the community creations pool. And it's just a lot of fun. And I have to show you a clip. All right. We have to show this clip of what you could be, what you're missing out on, really, by not watching the NWF. Because, Sarah, you tuned in to the first edition. It was your show.
Yes.
Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, we're just going right into, okay. So here are the highlights from it. This was on the pre-show to decide the intergalactic tag team champions. It was the Sith, who obviously is Darth Maul right there. He has wicked cool entrance. I'm just trying to speed up. Darth Vader and him create the Sith. And then you have none other than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael, look at this sick entrance. Like, look at, like, I don't know why it's black and white. I don't get it, but I mean, that it was kind of how Raphael would come out. And then his brother, Leonardo, a little bit more on the cheery side. So they did well with, I like how they're coming out there to kind of their personalities. Now we get into the actual match. It was a TLC match, by the way. So look at Darth Maul. He's hitting spinning DDTs. You have Darth Vader doing some head snake eyes. And then look at this. All right, this was like backdrop there. Like, this was so fun to commentate too.
Yeah.
This was so fun to commentate. Because look, it just hits him with a ladder. Like, the gameplay, if you look, it's not as like, stiff. It actually feels like you see Raphael there. He's going for it. You think he's gonna win, but oh no, Darth Vader's there. And he's going to climb up that ladder, and he's going to knock him down, knock him. And then this is unbelievable. I can't believe he hit this. Watch this move right here. I think Raphael hits it. Yeah, Raphael hits it on Vader. Look, it's building, and boom, code breaker off the ladder to Darth Vader. Ever think you'd see that? Raphael hitting Darth Vader with a code breaker off a ladder? Nah. Definitely didn't think that. Let's skip ahead here because we've been going a long time. And if you want to actually watch the match, oh shoot, you don't even know who won. So yeah, we'll get to the last part of the match. So this is it right here. All right. So Leonardo climbs. You think he's going to win. Darth Maul is going to stop him from grabbing the title. You see Raphael get thrown on a ladder, but he's got the protective shell. So I don't think that hurts. I don't think that would hurt. I'm all right.
If we're believing it's a shell and not a backpack, then yeah.
This is true. Could be just one of those backpacks from Newbury Comics. And then he throws him down there. Darth Maul goes down. There's a move here. Yeah, this was insane. Just boom. Kind of like a white noise. I hope that's his finisher. Oh no, watch this. This is sick. Boom. Just a kick to the dome. A ninja kick. And then that knocks out Darth Maul. Raphael says, enough mugging about. I'm going to go get my titles.
They also make him really tall, it seems like.
Yeah, they made a lot of tall.
Woo!
And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, are your intergalactic tag team champions representing Shenanigan Showdown Saturday nights. And I just love this picture here. Why is it black? Okay, there it is. There's a picture here. I'm going to pause it because this is your face of the NSN NWF tag division. Boom. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are your face of the tag division.
Yep.
Pretty cool. It's pretty freaking cool. All right, back to some reality here. Oh, by the way, hold on. I didn't even mention where to go. Twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network. Tomorrow, if time allows, if the peeps do not need their popular champ, we're going back to back, and we're doing shenanigans on Saturday. SmackDown in there, and you got to tune in. Twitch.tv, Nonsense Sports Network. SmackDown, my first show. It's my debut of my show. Maybe we can do some we'll get from the peeps, see whose show was better. 2, Pro Wrestling Inquiries, top 500 wrestlers released. We're not going through this, all right? But I did want to hit the top 10, and especially who number 1 is. Your boy, Sara. topping the charts at number 1, Seth freaking Rollins. And the top 10. Oh, I lost the top 10 because I closed up my app. Oh no, it's right here. Awesome. Sweet. We reloaded it. So we have Seth Rollins at 1, our tribal chief Roman at 2, Jon Moxley at 3, which the Shield being the 3 best wrestlers in the world right now. It's kind of cool. Not going to lie. Gunther, the Ring General at 4, El Hijo del Vikingo at 5. I already told Kingdom of Razor about him. You guys should listen to the champ too. MJF at 6. Kachet, I don't know how to say his first name. Okada at 7. Orange Cassidy at 8. Josh Alexander of Impact at 9. And the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes at 10. So those are top 10 wrestlers. Kenny Omega at 25.
Where's Ospreay?
Ospreay 17. He is ahead of Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, and in front of Ospreay are Bryan Danielson, Masha Slamovich, Samoa Joe, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes at 13. Interesting. I know, that's very interesting to me. So yeah, let us know what your comments are about that, and who you think should have made it, should not have made it. And is there a Discord? I don't have a Discord for it. I'm still trying to learn Discord for for myself. So maybe that'll be in the future. But
yeah, I don't know how to use it either.
I don't. Yeah, Twitch.tv, Nonsense Sports Network.
I'm an old millennial.
We got football. Yeah, we really but tune in tomorrow. I'll tweet out the time. Probably in the afternoon after work, around like 3-ish. A little bit before the SmackDown breakdown. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that, because it's gonna be. I really have a lot of fun doing that. So, tune in. So, and then 3. Just give me one prediction. We're at an hour and 10. Just give me one poll prediction.
John Cena will be there.
He is gonna be there. It's graceful.
Pretty Deadly will be there.
Okay, I got The Rock showing up and him rock bottoming Grayson Waller.
Okay.
So
intense.
SmackDown prediction: OC doesn't save AJ Styles yet again. Dude, right? If this happens, I'm gonna lose it. Callback. That kind of might be my lemon of the week. All right. That really peeved me. That he gives him this whole speech about accountability, and then he's getting attacked by the Bloodline, gets thrown in by Judgment Day, and nobody saves anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rough.
That peeved me. That annoyed me. So it is a cat, Nathaniel. It is a cat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yes. It is a cat.
Not a rabbit.
Rabbits are cute though. Ow.
They're adorable. I got a shit ton in my yard. It's awesome.
Jelly.
Just run around. Thank you guys for tuning into this edition of Pitts and Sarah's Wrestling Show. And thank you to the super chats. Thank you to the chats in general. I mean, this is just a lot of fun, and to see the support we're getting right now is awesome, to say the least. So we thank you. We're going to keep going too. So, keep supporting us. It's why we're doing the Nonsense Wrestling Federation. It's why we're doing the 3 shows a week and really trying to build this up, because it's a lot of fun. And especially a show like this, where the Thursday show, for anyone, or Thursday, Friday, tomato, potato, who knows, the Thursday show is kind of up in the air. It just depends on the week. And I would like to do more stuff like this, where we just break down what's going on in the wrestling world, maybe do some trivia, maybe do other stuff. We don't know. Let us know what you want to see. We're pretty receptive to the peeps. That's why I'm the champ of you all. So let us know what you want to see from us in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know when we go live, and then to follow us everywhere else. The links are in the description. Follow us so you know when everything goes live, and our thoughts so you can interact with them as well. And then that's all I got, Sarah. That's all I got before SmackDown. So, as you're getting tugged.
I don't have anything else.
There we go. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you tomorrow. Yeah.